Amanda, are you with me today?
Yes, I am
Excellent.
with you today. Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Let's get rid of all that because I don't know. So I think you're recording and I'm not. So, but that's okay.
I think
I'm
you
loving your
can.
background. Hi, Deb. Hello,
Hi,
everybody.
Amanda. Hi,
Sorry,
everyone.
I wandered off there. I wandered off
Well,
into the
welcome back.
computer.
Welcome back to Friday Spotlight, coming to you from this beautiful Caribbean coast. I am delighted to be talking to my dear friend Amanda Samadi. Today's subject is the art of forgiveness.
Yes, very, very important, but very hard too.
I think people don't
Um,
really fully understand what forgiveness really means, or some people don't understand what forgiveness really means. And it's basically to give over, to have your peace.
yes. Yeah.
It's a way to release
Mhm.
and not carry the burden of someone else's
Yeah.
responsibilities or someone
Because,
else's
yeah, bec-
actions.
because the thing is, if you don't forgive, if you don't learn to forgive, what happens is you end up with suppressed anger, which means your anger stays boiling within yourself.
Hmm.
As a for instance, we're talking about anger right now. So if you're angry with somebody that did something to you 10 or 15 years ago and you have held on to that anger for all of those years, you are suppressing this anger. And if you don't forgive, don't have to necessarily forget, but if you don't forgive, this could turn into illness. And that's
True.
what happens. That's how some diseases come around, because they are brought on by anger. Um, just one of the emotions. Um, Sadness too. If you keep suppressing stuff, it's all about living in this time right now, and forgiving someone is the best thing. You know, someone was really cruel and horrible to me, and I carried that for quite some time, but I knew that I had to forgive. And someone said to me, but how can you do that? How can you forgive what he did? And I said, because I have to. I need to offload that. I'm not carrying that around with me for the rest of my life. No, thank you very much. So I'm going to forgive you, and here you go. And it doesn't mean you've got to have that person back in your life.
Right.
That's another thing, isn't it?
Yes.
You don't have to go back with that person. Well, we're talking about relationships right now, but you know, did
Yep.
I go off into a tantrum then? I just don't know. That story just came back up, and I just thought you have to forgive people. It's really, I would imagine it's quite hard if someone's been really horrible, but you don't want to carry that around with you because you could manifest something else like that.
That's true.
You know, you don't
And
want to
sometimes,
carry that around, do you? Really?
right. I mean, I think when it comes to forgiveness, if you are unable to forgive others, for example, then that unresolved conflict, which is what it is,
Yeah,
or disappointment in that relationship, that holding on to that anger can keep you tied to pain. And forgiveness doesn't really mean excusing harmful behavior, but
absolutely. Yeah.
freeing yourself from that burden of resentment so that healing can take place.
Yeah.
And then forgiving yourself for things that you've done or said,
Yeah.
you know, and in the context of loss, since, my business is all about serving those who have been experiencing either grief or have experienced a loss.
Yeah.
Loss can bring up a lot of feelings of guilt and things left unsaid.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sometimes, the choices that you've made or the actions you've taken. And self forgiveness means recognizing that, you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And
Yeah.
it's about showing yourself the same compassion you would show someone else.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, the ways that, like when the clients come to see me, there are ways that you can start to forgive. You're not going to forgive somebody if they've been really cruel to you overnight. That's not how it works. I'm not saying to you, right, I'm going to forgive you and that's it. Boom. I have written a few letters to this person telling them how I feel, because getting things on paper out of here and out of here is really the first steps can be for you, um, to offloading this. The same with grief. You can be angry that somebody has passed over. He's left me. That's normally one of the things that people say to me. He left me, or and I feel so alone and so sad. Sometimes you're keeping that alive within your body. And I'm quite sure that your partner would not want you to do that. If you feel angry or anything like that, the best thing you can do is write a letter.
That is a great way
You
of,
know, I just feel that, and you don't hold yourself back. If you want to swear, swear. If you want to say all sorts that won't, I won't swear. But if if someone's really hurt you and you want to tell them how they've made you feel because you can't do it to their face, um, it's really, really helpful, because remember, you're just getting it out of your body. I'm not saying to you you've got to go up to that person and actually physically, mentally say to them, I forgive you. You don't have to do that, because remember, it's for yourself.
right.
You don't even have to have a conversation with that person for the rest of your life, but you do need to get it out of your body. And when the tears come, brilliant, because tears are from your heart and it's a form of releasing.
Yes.
Um, and a good thing to do is actually to set fire to the letter as well. Don't keep it. You don't need to read it over again what you put, because it's come from in here. When
Yes.
I had to forgive someone, I wrote pages after pages, but no one would ever see those pages because I set fire to them. And that was my way of releasing,
That's a
really.
great way to release it.
Yeah.
A burn party.
Yes, have a
Private
burn bar.
burn party.
Yeah. I'll just let this cat in because she's going to start scratching the door. Sorry. Oh, yes, I know. Sorry.
That's
She goes
okay.
mad. She's looking for her dinner. So yeah, that's
Happens.
that's one way of releasing somebody.
Yeah. And then
Married.
sometimes I think it's important to kind of shift your perspective too. Really always looking at things from a different perspective, choosing a different lens so that you can start to see something in another way that makes it easier to release that regret or that sense of um, anger or whatever it is that you're needing to forgive someone or yourself for. And so, what was the word? Forgive. It means to give for the person. Like you give that what they said back to them, or you give what you did back to you almost as if you're giving it away for you to have some
Yeah.
peace over it. It's like choosing the peace over the pain and really reclaiming your energy, the positive energy that you live with, your personal energy. It's that conscious decision to no longer let those past wounds dictate your present
Yeah.
or your future. It's like the gift you give to yourself. Give
Absolutely.
for you, not necessarily, you know, giving over to that person your power or give them the thing that was hurtful to you, but like you're giving yourself the gift of peace from that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think it can be really challenging to face the forgiveness piece when it comes to, you know, a grief journey. Um, and that's actually something I'm looking at doing a workshop about for my clients. Um,
Mhm.
I feel like it would be helpful to have an actual live masterclass or workshop on
Yeah.
examples that incorporate some role playing and some writing and some techniques that will allow people to release that in
Yeah.
the workshop.
Yeah. Because I do think that people, when we talk about forgiveness,
Hmm.
um, it is all about getting the forgiveness out of your body because it is all about you. Um, and like I said, you're not actually going to have to go up to that person and say, I forgive you. You don't have to do that because it is all about shifting it from your body. And you've got to remember that hurt people hurt people.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So if somebody has hurt you in your past, it might have been somebody has hurt them and they are playing it out and they are hurting you. But you've got to stop the hurting somewhere along the line
Break the
and
cycle. Yeah.
break that cycle of hurt by stopping it with you.
Hmm.
Because then, if you're not careful, you're going to carry that hurt into something else. Someone else might even be your family. Um, so, as I say, the way it works with me, I mean, I do something called cutting cords. So, we'll go into a deep meditation
Hmm.
and visualization of the person. Um, it is to do with trusting. You have to trust that we go on this journey together. And then we go into a room and we have the person here and the person there, which is you. And there is a thin cord from this person's heart to that person's heart. And then we literally pick the cord up, go back to that person and actually give them back their cord and say, I'm releasing myself from this situation. I don't want to think about it anymore.
Yes.
And it's so powerful. Sometimes they cry because they feel that they've held on to this thing for so long that to let go of it is a little bit, they're going to feel a bit lost because they've got nothing to look for now. But it's very powerful to do that. Um,
I like that process. I think that could be very useful for a lot of people. And I think that that might be something you could come in and do in the workshop
yeah, I'd love to.
as a
I'd love to.
possibility, just
Yeah,
as an idea. I think that it's important that people are recognizing that when you're releasing something that might suddenly feel oh my gosh, I can't believe it's possible to release this.
Yeah.
Because most people say that's just the kind of person I am. I can't let that go,
Yeah.
or I can't forgive that,
Yes.
or I can't make it be okay with me. I'm just that kind of person. They've already fallen into the assumption that they can't change that thing about themselves because it's now attached to their identity. And if
Is that
it was
not the
that
ego?
free to if it was that easy to release it, then they would have certainly, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Is that the ego saying that to them, saying that to them, do you think?
I do think it is. And I think that, our ego will keep us hostage just so that we can
Yeah.
stay safe in that identity we created, which was created likely
Yeah.
way before,
Yeah.
way before.
Yes.
And most likely that scenario is not serving them now.
Yeah.
And it may have served at one time, but it's not serving them now.
No. And that's the thing. I think the ego thinks that, oh no, no, this is just something that I'm holding on to. That's not for me. I can't let go of that. So if you're saying that to yourself, that's not actually you that's saying that. I mean, I think we've spoken about the ego and everything before. If you've held on to hurt for so long, you're not prepared to let go of it. That's not wanting to let go of it. It's the ego.
Yeah,
It can be quite hard to get your head around that, but it really is. I mean, we're all here, I feel, to become light in life. The lighter you are, the more you offload, the lighter you become.
that's right.
You need to be as light as a feather. That's what I think. And the more you let go of, the better it is, I think. And the thing is, forgiveness lowers stress, blood pressure, and even the risk of depression.
It does.
Um, and it frees up mental space for you in your mind. It's like some people say all that stuff that you do is all a bit woo woo. It's not for me. And I go, "Oh, well, that's fine. I'm not here to change your mind. It's fine." But I'm quite sure that, really your inner self would love to be able to come a bit lighter,
Yeah,
and get up in the morning and actually feel good that you're alive. I get back and I draw the curtains every morning and I look out that window and I just think, another day. And, that's a really good feeling because being here in the present is a present.
grateful for another day,
Yeah, grateful for
another
another.
opportunity to be present
Yeah,
and
yeah.
experience life.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. When I first started this journey and I had a lot of forgiving, because we all do, I didn't get to this age that I didn't need, there's lots of forgiveness that needs to be done.
Hmm.
But as well as forgiving myself too, like you said, because I've done some things and I don't regret doing anything because things happen for a reason. But you need to be able to forgive yourself.
Yes,
Um, and I have forgiven myself about lots of things I've done, but, and it's made me feel a lot lighter. Even as a child, you could be carrying stuff from your childhood. Now we're going way back when you were sort of, I don't know, I nicked something from a shop, I think, and I felt so bad about it. And, I was very young
yeah.
and I was quite a naughty girl. I was quite a naughty kid, very disruptive. Can you believe that?
I don't know who would believe that. Sounds so far-fetched.
But you have to go back and forgive. I have to forgive that young child in me. And I have to feel how she felt that she needed to do that.
And she was also testing boundaries
Yes.
and testing
Yes.
Who's paying attention, seeing, will this make a difference? What are the consequences? So much learning was in that
Yes.
experience for that little girl.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
But ultimately, forgiveness is for you, not for anyone else. And to be able to practice it, to be able to find ways to release the emotional energy in the body is
Yeah.
very, very valuable. And
But
it
it's also
does
not a
feel lighter.
weakness, is it?
A weakness?
It's not a weakness, forgiveness. You know,
No,
forgiveness is not a weakness. If anything, it's a more of a what's the opposite of weakness?
strength.
Strength.
It's a strength.
So it's a strength, isn't it, really?
Hmm.
And it's a gift to yourself.
It's kind of like taking back your power over the thing that's been holding you hostage
Yeah.
emotionally. It's really like
Yeah.
that. That's
Because
the
if
way
you're
I see
not,
it.
yeah, if you're not forgiving that person, yes. So if I'm not forgiving that person,
Hmm.
I am giving them my power.
Yeah,
I'm actually allowing them to have my power and take it. But by forgiving somebody, you are taking back your power because that power is yours, doesn't belong to them.
that's right.
So, you know, um, the true meaning of forgiveness, I've got it written here. Forgive, forgiveness is often misunderstood. Many believe it means excusing bad behavior, pretending something didn't happen, or letting somebody off the hook. In reality, forgiveness is a conclusion decision to release resentment and anger, even when justified. There you
Right.
go. That's it. So it is a massive thing. I,
Yes, it
I
is.
what else could we do? What else could we give them for them to help themselves?
I
Apart from
think,
have a session with both of us.
well, I think a workshop on forgiveness.
Yeah, I think that would really work. And letting go.
Hmm. Giving them a couple of tools that we can practice together, and then having a couple of exercises that are valuable. If there's something that's been weighing on you heavily that you need to forgive yourself for, or you need to forgive someone else, you
Yeah,
don't have to participate in this with them. It's only
yeah,
about you. So if you
yeah,
come into a workshop, a free workshop with the two of us, because I'm seeing the need, we will create this. Um, and be able to share what's going on, be able to evaluate options that might be best
yeah,
that fit you and your style, to be able
yeah,
to really release this and forgive this burden, give it over, take it away from yourself, release it.
yeah,
Those tactics that you could learn in that workshop would be beneficial, and you can use
yeah.
it for everything. So,
I mean,
yes, I
yeah,
think we need to come back and give people um, a date for a workshop
yeah.
so that they can come
I
in
don't think you wouldn't
and
have to, if
practice.
we did this workshop, you wouldn't have to, you don't have to tell everybody your life story. You can
Right.
keep what you want. You know who you've got to forgive, whether it be yourself or someone else.
I mean,
We're
bring
not
it
going
into
to
the
say,
workshop, not
yeah,
like say it out loud, unless you want
yes,
to, which of course you
yeah,
can. Um,
yes.
but
We're not going to say to you, right, we need you to know exactly why. Why do you want to forgive that person? We don't need to know that. We're just going to give you the tools to
exactly,
offer you. Okay. I think that
tools
would
and
work.
the opportunity to practice and take away with you a methodology that works for every day.
Yeah.
in your life. So, yes, let's do that.
Yeah. So we've just come up with a workshop now.
Yes, but I don't know. For some reason, I feel like it's needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it is. I
So if
think
you're
I've,
watching the video, please comment with a heart. Drop a heart in. Let
yes.
us know if you would be interested in attending this workshop. It would be for free on Zoom.
Yeah. Come on now. You need to give us some hearts
Yes.
because we're putting all this content out and we're trying to help you all.
So
Um, not
within
to
the
live.
next week, we will come up with a date so
Yeah.
that those who are interested can have the registration information and the date, and we will get together and we will make sure that if
Lovely.
there is something harboring
Yeah.
your brain, your energy, and it's dragging you down, and you'd like to forgive it,
Yeah.
come into this workshop and we will make sure that
Yeah,
you
because there is
learn
quite a few tools actually, because there
what
is
it takes.
one more thing is you can, and I do this in yoga.
Don't give it
Oh,
away. Don't don't give it away.
oh. Yes, I won't give it away because it really does work. It's all to do with the breath.
Yes.
It's called a lion's roar or lion
Lion's
something.
breath.
Lion's breath.
Yes.
It's massive.
It is. It is
I'm not going to
very
tell you what it is
helpful.
for, but it involves your tongue. But I'm not going to tell you anymore now because you have to come to the workshop.
Yes.
But it's massive. You can use your whole body as a tool, and then we'll show you how. Use your body as a tool. That's what your
Exactly.
body is here for. People aren't using their body. You're suppressing stuff into your body that actually can come up as weight in your body. If you're a heavy person, it could come up as weight. It can come up as headaches. It will show up as depression, like what I said earlier, blood pressure, stress, heart attack. These are the things that you
Yes.
are holding on to that you're not forgiving. So eventually it comes back on you anyway.
So that
In your
dis-ease
brain.
may be something that just requires your attention so that you can practice forgiveness and release it.
Yeah.
And yes, there's going to be a workshop so that you can take these
Yeah.
tools with you into your life.
I'm taking down notes already.
Amanda, I'm so glad we had this conversation today. Thank you
So am
for
I,
coming
darling.
to chat with me again. And
Yes.
thanks all to, you know, taking our Friday spotlight in and listening and being able to learn a little bit of what Amanda and Deb have on their minds this week.
Yeah.
Don't forget to drop a heart in the comments if you're interested in learning more about
How do they do
forgiveness.
that? How do they do that? This is a heart. Drop us a heart.
Yes. Okay.
All right, my
Well,
darling.
fantastic. Thanks, everyone. Thank
We'll
you,
see you all
Amanda.
again next week and we'll put it out about when the workshop's going to be.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye bye for now.
Bye bye.